Yeah.
You have to
Don't we have a date?
close it then.
Yeah.
I can,
No,
I
wait,
guess it
she's
timed
right.
out.
No,
you're right, no,
you're,
I dated this wrong,
yeah.
did I? We have to approve the November 27th meeting.
Oh, that's,
Approve the minutes. Maybe I just worded that wrong, because at this meeting, this is where we approve the previous minutes, which was November 27th. These are the minutes from the meeting.
These are the minutes from November 22nd.
okay. But
The agenda.
the minutes from the November 27th meeting
I misworded that. I see what you're
started out
saying.
saying
I
that
see.
we were, just like this meeting here, we're approving the minutes from the
Yep.
previous meeting.
Yep, I
That
moved
meeting.
it. I moved it.
We need,
I'll correct that.
because I know we talked about the meetings from the previous
No, I think
meeting.
you're right, Jim. So what should it say, since you brought it up there, what's the date? Should we put August 16th on that line?
I believe that was the previous date.
I'll double check that before I change that.
Okay, well, before we go with any other changes, would you please make sure that we get the correct date on that, August, and then whatever date that is?
Yes.
Selena?
Yes.
I'll make a motion that we approve those, those minutes right here
With corrections.
with
With
the
corrections.
correct date.
Yes.
Okay, because I don't believe in here there was anything that we were going to go forward with except the roof and the signage. And that's what we're gonna discuss tonight, right?
Correct.
That's correct.
Okay.
Okay.
So you made a motion, does everybody else want to read some more, or do we have a second on
I
that?
have I'll second it.
All right, we have a motion and a second, everyone for it? All against? Motion carries. All right, treasurer report,
Okay.
Sandy?
The general account, we started out the month of March. I'll start, you have January, February, and March is on here. I'll just do March. We started out the month with $135,528.70. We paid the EDC secretary $350. Our water is $124.48 for the whole building. We had Pedro mow not once but twice for $220. The electric on number 4 was $76. Number 1, H&R Block brought in $900 for their rent. Sales tax was $3,894.23. Number 2's rent was $500. And then you'll see we have another Monarch, but there wasn't none up here in February, so we're going to in March for another $132.03, and that comes to $139,920.42. Any questions on the general account? Okay, on the hotel occupancy tax account for the month of March, we had Motor Inn brought in $1,332.80. Lake Wilson Resort, $355.91. We paid Doug, our webmaster, $200. We also paid the Frankston Citizen for the ads for $32. So we now have $107,931.93 in the hot account. Any questions?
Have we heard anything further from the Duck Inn?
They have been bought out, or the owners that bought them out at the time, a year or two ago, are now living there. They are now getting their mail in that, in the Duck Inn.
Because I've been seeing
Yes,
people there.
yes, they are living there.
Okay,
Yes, the mail carrier said that those people that own it are now living there.
okay, so they're not running a business
No.
on it?
Not according to what she has seen,
I called and no response.
Okay.
so, no.
Because that, what touched this off is, I saw people there, I saw occupancy, And I couldn't tell whether it was just weekenders or whether they're now living or whatever.
Living now.
That's where they're
So
getting
that-
their mail.
That's why I raised the question.
That's fine.
Okay.
I appreciate it.
Does anybody have any further questions for Sandy? All right, we'll move on to number 5. Number 5 is open forum, and on the open forum, I was trying to keep the meetings as order. Could I have a motion to accept the treasury report?
I'll accept that. I'd make the motion to accept the treasury report. as
Thank you,
stated.
Jim.
I'll second.
Everybody for? Motion carries unanimously. All right, thank you, Sandy.
Yes.
Number 5 is open forum. In order to keep the meetings sort of orderly, if you notice on the list, there's 2 open forums. There's one on number 5 and there's one on number 12. And what I would do is if there was anybody in the audience that has something to say, well, as a matter of fact, you're welcome to say it, but if they, after the meeting, they could, or at the end of the meeting, they could say something also. And the point being is that way we wouldn't have a lot of interjection in between. But I did want to give everybody a full chance to say anything that they wanted to say. And so now that I've said that on open forum, we have 2 people in the audience. Would the 2 people in the audience like to say anything?
Do you want me to make my announcement now?
I think that would be nice, yes, thank you.
Right before the meeting, I had a phone call from Wesley Beard, and Wesley Beard has decided to resign from the EDC. He will be sending a letter of resignation to the EDC, and he will be sending a letter to the council as well. He felt like his schedule was, and his business is getting to the point that he just really is having a hard time making the meetings. He wanted to let everyone know that he loves Coffee City, and anything that he can do to help Coffee City, the EDC or the council, he would be willing to help with. If any of you, he mentioned Fire Chief Shalina, if y'all need anything, just to let him know.
Oh, just email him back to build a hotel.
I just wanted to let you know that he called to let me know that and wanted me to announce it tonight, so.
All right, thank you, man.
We don't get no money off a hotel.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, and if that's it for the open forum, we're going to go to number 6, which is discuss and act upon the curb and sidewalk for the community center. And this is something I was asked to put on there by the fire chief, and so take it away, fire chief.
I don't want to take a lot of time up on it, but what we do is, I don't know if y'all noticed, when we have quinceañeras and marriages and some different types of events, we get a lot of overflow. When people are double parked out on the road, they're parked in front of the fire trucks, they're parked on Royal Forest. So what we've done is, I don't know if anybody's gone back there, I know Mr. Don has, we've created a secondary overflow parking lot, which has been in the plans forever. But we need a curb to hold that, to keep it from washing away. And that curb will also signify a place for them to stop, so they don't run out into the grass and run over our sprinkler systems and you know, everything else. And then the sidewalk, of course, will come from the community center and then down to the parking lot, to the overflow parking lot. It wasn't even officially in effect, 2 weeks ago, and it was already being used. They just found it. Nobody told them, they just found it. So, basically, it's 80 foot of 4 foot wide sidewalk that comes from the end of the community center down to it. It's 15 foot of 5 foot sidewalk. The sidewalk we have at the community center now is 5 foot, so it'll bring it out, it'll continue the same size to the end, and then we'll cut down to 4 foot and run out to the, it's 90 foot of curb. All 3 bidders bid to the same specifications. I have one bid from Martinez and Son for $3,500. I'm going to give these to the secretary. We have another bid from Robert Sherman for $3,016. And then we have one from Nash for $3,000 even. Nash is local, we know him. Sherman is out of Tyler, and Martinez, primarily out of Jacksonville. But they did come over, they measured, they brought their wheels out, and everybody based their bid off the same measurements. Sir?
Question. That price includes the sidewalk?
Yes, that's the sidewalk and the curb.
In the specifications that they were bidding on, composition, did you talk about what the curbs to be made of and what the sidewalks to be made of?
Yeah, we didn't get into PSI, but it's basically it's gonna be basically an 18-inch curb with 6 inches above ground. They're gonna go down, you know, because if they hit it, they don't want it to just fall over
I
like
understand.
a landscaping brick.
And the basing for the sidewalk, are they gonna,
You talking about like thickness or?
yeah, thick?
Yeah, they'll pack it, they're gonna pack it, one of the requests was is so that it would be able to be run over with a lawnmower. So it would be easy,
Yeah.
and we did tell them we would help them backfill if we need to. Any kind of extras, strata, we have some leftover wrap they can use and gravel, and I think the sidewalk's gonna be 3 inches thick. 3 inches thick.
Okay, so based on the 3 bids, if we were just to automatically say low bid, would you have any, see anything that's objectionable there?
No, all 3 of these people, like I said, based their bid on the deal, on the same specifications. That's what I try to do, is do apples to apples, so.
But you made a comment that you knew the one guy.
Well, Nash is local, I mean, we know him, he's done stuff before.
Okay. So you know the quality of his
And I
work.
know where he lives, but that shouldn't influence him, but he's 3. He does a lot of stuff for Briarwood Bay and everything else too.
Okay.
And his was 3. Sherman's was 2016. He's out of Tyler. And then Martinez and Sons out of Jacksonville, I believe. It's 283 number. But they, like I said, I mean, they're all within $500, but.
If there's any questions, since this is if we can't go beyond just a verbal thing, we can actually just step outside the door and go there, if that's necessary for anyone, if anybody has any, wants to actually take a look at it. Okay,
Since we have a project officer in-house who's been out there already with the people, unless there's any other objections, I would go with a little bit.
I think that's a smart idea.
I'd go with that.
Do I have a motion to go with a little bit?
I'll second it.
So we have a motion and a second to go with a low bid on the sidewalk and curb project. All for? All against? Unanimously carries.
Do it.
Call them tomorrow.
All right, well, that's great. Number 7 is discuss and act upon a May 1st webinar regarding the hotel occupancy tax. This is something that, this is Sandy's territory, but it's something that we need to be acutely aware of, is how we spend our hot tax. And this is basically, it's on this CD right behind us here.
Yes.
Well, I think it's a wonderful thing. Sandy, take it away and say something.
We would go ahead and set the computer up and we would watch it on the TV screen. And what it is the hotel occupancy tax. If you look at the back of your sheets, I copied, I am sorry. The city council gets this magazine, and I, Shalina, get it. I copied, that is what is in this magazine. And I have highlighted, there's part 1, there's heads and beds, there's 2 parts to getting to use our hot tax. And those parts I have underlined on your sheets. There's also another thing that on the second page, don't forget, we just did, February 20th was the last day to first ever report, because the state of Texas decided that all cities must, legislation was passed 2017 to do all cities. to annually report our hot tax information to the comptroller. So this is all part of that. And I want everybody to learn by this what we need, can and cannot do. I along with Cindy, went last December. You can all pick this up and look at it, it's over in Shalina's office. We went ahead and did the small cities problem solving. There's legal things that we need to be aware of. Also, you know, our primary, you know, also for city liability and everything. What it was basically a roundtable discussion. But this webinar, and you'll agree with me, Cindy, was very informative.
I'm getting emails all the time and reading them.
Exactly, exactly. We made a lot of contacts.
That's wonderful. How much money for the webinar?
The last time I think it was like $70. I didn't look up this one right offhand, but.
Does that cover everybody?
It's $70 per that TV.
Yes, sir.
So not
Yeah.
for how many people are sitting
Yeah.
out here.
So do we need to approve an amount, is all I'm asking.
I didn't look it up, I'm sorry, exact amount.
Okay,
I am
well,
very sorry.
That's,
Can we just do it?
I think so. I don't think it's gonna be anything over $100 or so. Does anybody have any objections to that?
Can you come, whoever can come May 1st?
Question,
I will be.
Yes, sir.
what time?
Time and day of the week.
I believe it's May
May
1st.
1st.
May 1st, I didn't write down, I didn't even write it down.
I think I saw it earlier, it was like 10 o'clock, it was there in the middle of the day.
Yeah, I didn't even write it down.
Tuesday.
Yes, I
It's
can't
on
believe that.
Tuesday?
Yes. I will get you all the information.
I'll be up.
I am so sorry.
Tuesday generally lets me out, but it's okay.
I'm
Will
sorry.
again.
Yeah, give us the time.
I think I gave you all the info and I didn't
I
copy
do,
it,
it's
and
right
I'm
here.
sorry.
That's-
I'm sorry.
And are you
You're
providing
forgiven.
lunch?
Listen to you.
Just thought I'd ask.
The,
Just thought I'd ask.
So regarding the webinar, we need a motion to say, yep, we can make an expenditure not to exceed $100.
Let's make it.
Yeah, let's make it easy. I don't want us to come back and club us. Let's go for $250,
Yeah.
which is gonna be probably too much
It's too
money.
much.
But if I can get a motion to approve the webinar for an amount of not to exceed $250, I have a motion, I have a second. Everybody, A,
Who did
it
that
carries
second?
unanimously.
Who did that second, I'm sorry.
Jim?
Jim.
I apologize for not getting the exact amount.
Boy, don't you ever let it happen.
I won't. Yes, sir.
All right, well, that's wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sandy. On number 8, discuss and act upon May 5th, belts and hoses, fishing and car show. That's another fire chief presentation. We had some discussion with the fire chief, or I have, and I've had some with the police chief also, and there's been conflicting ideas, but I'm gonna let these guys bring it together. What you got to say?
Who's first, belts or hoses?
The only thing I wanted to add was you know, I thought it worked pretty well for us last year, with both of them being the same day. Inclement weather didn't cooperate there at the beginning, but you know, we can't control that part of it. But I thought it was a resounding success last year. I don't see I know that you had discussed with Fire Chief about having the tournament on Friday and having the car show on Saturday.
Just to investigate, have it,
Yes, sir.
just to look at.
To be honest with you, Mr. Begley, I would bow to your expertise. Between you and Larry, you guys know way more about this lake and how the tournaments work than I do. I'm amenable either way. It's, decide in the best interest of what will do the most good, and let's go with it.
I think you're gonna get more people on Saturday, just merely because so many people work.
Yes, sir.
I like the idea of what we were talking about, Jim was, but I think the reality is that we're gonna get a lot more people on Saturday.
And I've, since then, in between then and now, I've been talking to a couple of the bass clubs. And the bass clubs say, no, it would not really fit, it wouldn't necessarily fit into their pre-fish schedule. I think you guys would be better off to pursue an open tournament and just broadcasting it to all interested parties.
Mr. Begley's gave me some stuff on bass fishing in Texas and a couple of websites, and we've started posting, and we've been at your place, we've already been at the dam, we go to Flat Creek, when I say Emerald Bay, and we should start including the villages this week, so.
They're the bigger.
We need to, and again, I don't want to rehash what I talked to you about earlier, but again, next year, it's gonna be too late this year, but we really need to get the information to each of the bass clubs.
Right.
And it's too late this year for the most part because they don't hold they've already held their meeting for April, so, or, you know, maybe one or two of them we can still do, but we need to give them plenty of time so that when they have their next meeting, they could interject this, because a lot of those guys will come in and fish an open tournament. And like I told you earlier, you know, I get so many people in the office wanting open tournaments. The earlier we get this, the better.
And I'll take the hit on that, it's just, I think the last time y'all met was October or November.
Yeah,
I got
and I
hung up-
understand that part.
I got hung up waiting to make sure we had money, and then we decided we're just gonna to
How
go
much lead
ahead.
time should he have, Larry?
Excuse me?
How much lead time do we need in the future?
Oh, I'd like to have 6 months.
They make.
Because we get people all the time, and those people don't all of them keep coming back.
I understand.
We were on the car calendar in January, and I think that would probably be appropriate to get with Larry is January. I mean, I think.
Yeah, that'd be 4 months.
Because we meet the first Saturday of
That'd be all
January.
right.
The
Sure.
bass tournaments, the bass tournament finder research that we did, the bass tournament, the clubs probably had figured out their next spring schedule by December.
So 6 months enough time?
That's 6 months, yeah.
Okay.
We just remember third Saturday in May, we'll figure it out.
Okay, one more question, sir. If somebody does want to participate in this, would you allow me to take their money along
Yeah,
with
I
this
told
and
that-
keep it,
I
or?
told your son, or whatever that other guy is,
I don't have a.
he's a skinnier version.
He's
of
up
you.
in Missouri.
Be careful, because he may take the money.
He's a skinnier version of you, but yeah, I told her, and that real nice lady that works at the counter, I said, y'all can do whatever, because they're gonna turn it in. Police chief or his representative, and one of our representatives will be there signing them in and doing the safety checks, and if there ain't money.
As long as you don't care,
Yeah.
we'll keep this, we want to do it, keep the money and just put it in one of our big envelopes.
And we can settle up that Saturday of the event, we can settle up then.
All right, we'll be glad to do it for you.
So that's the 19th of May.
That's a car show, kids bouncy houses, face painting, whatever else we can do. Car show and other events will be here at City Hall. And we'll be there.
We'll be glad to do it for you.
And we took 82 last year, and I think we only drew like 71. We had 82 for a working budget. I think we only drew like 71, is that what it was, 72?
Somewhere in there.
We were way under.
Yeah.
But we're gonna get more papers this year, so we were gonna try to see if we could increase ourselves up to about 85. I don't think we'll reach that. Just like last year, we were 1,000 under, but like if it was a webinar, we'd like to have a cushion without having to come back and ask.
So if they want 82,
85,
Make a motion,
Yeah,
Sandy.
whoa. We want what now?
8,500. That takes care of all the prizes and everything, and all the advertisement and all the,
last year.
and last year, we were like 1,200 under.
Well, what we ought to do is go back to the 8 with the cushion of the, what, $200?
Sounds good to me.
No.
I'm just kidding.
But we plan on advertising more places.
$8,500 is what's the amount?
Have you spent any yet?
Minuscule, but not much.
And then we don't have to come back.
No, $8,500 is fine.
So would someone like to make a motion on that dollar amount?
I'll make it.
All
I'll
right.
make the motion.
Do you want 85 or 90?
85 should be fine.
Is 85 fine? 8,500, I'll make the motion.
And who's that being paid to?
This is being paid to, tell us, Fire Chief.
Actually, it doesn't get paid to anybody. What we do is we present receipts to Miss Sandy, and y'all, It's not like a normal sponsorship where y'all just throw $8,500 to the fire department. We'll buy the stuff, y'all reimburse for expenses.
Up to 8,500.
Up to $8,500.
But look, can I say
That's both
something?
belts and hoses, right?
Yes.
Belts and hoses and car show.
Can I say something? I think last year we had the money, I think Mayor, we didn't do it proper, or you wanted the money, everything coming through the city. Is that
Seems to me
correct?
the auditor said something about
It
that,
looks
that,
better.
It's just more easier just to bring it through the city secretary.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, whatever that is, you guys.
Because she had a trail, I had a trail, none of the trails went the same direction.
Yeah.
Uh,
Okay, so what you'll do is you'll go ahead and go through the city secretary. When the city secretary presents me with the bill, I will pay it.
Yes. Other
Okay.
than the prize money that you'll do that day,
So I will write checks that day?
like you did last year.
Okay,
Yep.
okay.
Donna, we tried to break it down last year to individual items such as the amount for the trophies, the amount for this, the amount for that, and it was a piece of work, but if you want to agree on a detailed presentation, we'd be more than happy to tell you, item by item exactly.
Just as long as it's audited, it's up to $8,500 and then it will be paid as the invoices.
So
That's right.
we value accountability. but-
And then I sit there and pay as it
yeah.
goes, first, second, third, got
Okay, so,
Should I say
We
that?
had a motion,
Yes.
and did we have a second?
there's discussion.
Oh,
I just
Mayor?
have a question. We were just discussing on the kind of bookkeeping of it all, that we need to know what is fishing and what is car show, and kind of keep things
Okay.
separated so we kind of know what's what. And
Okay.
I guess maybe the city secretary
Create a
could do that or
bill
something
set
as you turn bills in, but because we do split, you know, some things, and then I think the car show is strictly for the fire department, is that correct?
Currently, yes.
Currently, and so, you know, we need a, just good accounting for it,
it. Okay,
so we don't get into trouble.
okay, I'll get with Doug, he and I can work on that.
Yeah, I've been talking to him too since I talked with Mayor Pro Tem last year. Like I said, the trails were the same, they just didn't end up at the same place.
Right.
They cross, and
I
so
understand.
we're gonna let one person be the only trailblazer.
Question.
Me.
Sir?
Do you have any other prizes, like from some of the boat dealers?
Not yet. We've got people out there trying to get door prizes like we did last year. We had probably 15 or 20 door prizes last year. I mean, some rods and stuff like that, reels.
Most of the ones from last year have pledged to once again provide, just a matter of Chief and I coordinating, just reaching out and making sure.
Not
So.
knocking on the door.
It's crazy. It is. Sponsorships are crazy.
Does anyone else have any questions? All right, we have a motion from Larry, we have a second from Jim. All in favor? All opposed? That carries unanimously. Thank you, Fire Chief.
That's a fire chief talk, okay?
Yeah. All right. Going on to number 9, discuss and act upon present and additional route proposals for the Lake Palestine Business Center. We still have 2 active quotations, and then Donna, did you say that you wanted to add some additional ones?
Well, that's why I was running late tonight. He was supposed to deliver it to me to the office. He didn't get there. I texted him and asked him if he had it. He said he would email it to me, and this is what I got, and I can get it printed off and everything from here. And this is from Reese Roofing. He's actually done a lot of work in this area. He does a lot on Lake Palestine. He said that he would tear off 2 layers of the 20-year 3-tab shingles, and he would include all cleanup, removal of all trash. He would install synthetic underlayment with all new D&L style metal edging, all new pipe covers, and cover roof with GAF brand Timberline HD30 shingles that actually have a lifetime warranty on them. It's not a 25-year, it's a lifetime. Also, he has a lifetime warranty on any of his workmanship, and all of this is transferable one time. He has a total labor and complete roofing for $17,630. Reese Roofing and Remodeling.
Thank you. Sounds good. The three that we have now, correct me if I'm wrong, we still have, Cable? No, Cable's has been
No.
voted out there.
No.
Cable's has been voted off the table by us here at the EDC. We still have Ryan Anthony's proposal, and then we still have Advantage Roofing. And do y'all need a copy of those again?
I don't think I have.
I don't need a copy of it, just remind me of the price.
The prices.
Okay, Advantage Roofing, the last one was $14,500. The last one I had from Anthony was $14,400, and then we just received this other one at $17,600. So those are the three bids, and
So did Anthony came back and made a second bid, is that what it was?
well, yeah, during the last council meeting, when we had the contentious council meeting there, I invited all the bidders who we had here, and I invited them all to resubmit a proposal. And Ryan was the only one who submitted a proposal. Cables did not resubmit, and neither did I actually talked to Advantage Roofing after the meeting, and they just go, yeah, that bid's still good. But it was, kind of after the fact.
But Ryan is the pizza pro,
Yes.
Well, Ryan is a pizza pro, he's our present renter.
and he's also our present renter. He has, in my opinion, he has to have the,
A vested interest.
right, he's got the most vested interest of anybody to make sure the job's done right. I'm
How
sorry,
many
he's a
jobs
tenant.
has he done?
Well, I
My
talked to
understanding
him.
is he's done hundreds,
Right now, he's on a job, the reason he couldn't be here tonight is he's doing, let's see, this hamburger place there, it is,
Arby's.
thank you. He's doing 30 roofs for Arby's right now, and he's in Dallas at the
I
present
thought
day.
that was his main business, y'all, and the Pizza Pro was just his second business.
Well,
Pizza Pro is his wife.
It's his wife's.
yeah,
okay.
it's a family business. The pizza thing is his family's thing, and he's got a daughter who's, I don't know if y'all want all these details.
Well, no,
but,
I just thought this was his business, main business anyway.
as far as I know, that's his main business, and his wife is in the pizza business.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, and he's also, I understand, made a proposal to buy the building or possibly buy it someplace down the line.
When we leased him the building, we did give him a first right of refusal on the building because he was interested in, I was very impressed that he was willing to commit to Coffee City. And as long as I'm talking about the building and not necessarily the roof, I've always thought that it would be best for Coffee City to put its best foot forward with the building. And I very much want to go forward with one of these proposals tonight. And the main reason is, it's neighboring businesses, and I want that thing to shine and really be something that we can be proud of. I want the parking lot adequate, I want the signage. When people come, I want them to see a successful business there in a very attractive building that's advertised properly, because that will draw the other businesses there. When they come, and if they see something that's kind of half and tacky, they're not gonna be interested. I want them to look at it and go, look at that place. It is just clean as a whistle, it's got successful businesses there, everything's great, and they're well advertised. And I want that is how you draw businesses in, because if you look at the very basics of any town, period, anywhere, is they play off of each other. They play off of each other, good, bad, or indifferent. If you get one, you're gonna get another. And the Lake Palestine Business Center is our chance to show what Coffee City wants. These are the kind of businesses that we want. And I want the building to look nice. And it's time to make the building look nice, and I want somebody to make a motion for somebody, and I want the roofing thing done tonight.
I'll
Thank
make a motion that Ryan Anthony get the bid, right?
Do I have a second on that?
I'll make a second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Everyone in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Donna, are you abstaining, or did I see yes or no?
I'm not for it, no.
So you're abstaining, or you're saying no?
I'm saying,
Okay, we have one no, everyone else no, so Donna's our no vote. Okay, well, that's great, and thank you all very much, and I very much look forward to having a nice shiny roof on the building, and I really want to move forward and with the Coffee City activities.
Next step for that is to notify Ryan.
Yeah, of course, to notify Ryan and tell him to step in the bid and for him to go ahead and start on his roofing project.
is his wife planning on opening her business once he does the roof?
Well, his schedule is something I really haven't understood, as long as you've asked a question. They run a family business. He's got some daughters who are in TJC right now, and I think what he's gonna do is set his wife and his daughter up in the pizza business right there. And as far as his schedule goes and how that goes, you have to ask him personally. I don't know, but that's what,
He's already paying rent, isn't he?
he's paying right
Yeah,
now.
Yes.
so it's just a matter of him getting in there and getting it done.
Right, and he was really, and just to be more plainly about this, he was wanting to see some action on our part as far as getting something done with the building. And I think this is helpful. I think this is helpful.
Is he paying in a better timely manner?
He is paying, it's not very timely, but he's
Still
still
like it
paying.
is, but he is paying, yes.
And the building is still empty, and the thing is that's a wonderful thing to get an empty building paid for. Because if you want to know the details on this, Donna, I don't know if you were here, he was supposed to originally be in July.
Right.
July was his particular thing, and he wasn't in July. And so at that particular time, he volunteered to pay rent on the empty building until he could get going. And so, okay, well, fine.
That's crazy business.
It's crazy business, but we accepted it, and we accepted it as an EDC. So it was an EDC decision that we accepted.
I mean, it's crazy
Like I
business on
said,
his part.
yeah, it wasn't crazy on our
It's
part.
stupid on his part, it's
Yes.
smart on your part.
Crazy on his part,
No,
maybe it wasn't
the
crazy
thing
on
was,
ours.
it-
No, not at all on the
He was
EDC.
he was committed to the local area because he already knew the business market,
I'm
he
sure
already knew his customer
Gotta be a
base.
lot of it.
What is it, Sandy?
He's just waiting for an answer.
Okay,
That's all he's
all right.
waiting for.
So let's move on here. We're not gonna beat this thing to death. We've made a decision on our roofing proposal. All right, item number 10, discuss and act upon signed proposals for the community center and Lake Palestine Business Center. And Donna, I hate to dump it on you, but I know this was a Wesley on our minutes that was approved, was it was a Wesley and your project.
Not my project.
Okay,
I wasn't on the sign, was I?
yeah,
Wesley and I won.
Yeah, not me.
well, Wesley
I
volunteered.
was on.
Wesley volunteered you.
Yeah, I didn't agree to it, so there you go.
Okay.
Community center or shopping center?
Whichever
Which
one
one
you wanna
first?
do.
You wanna start with the shopping center?
Go ahead.
Business center.
Business center, I'm sorry. And I don't
Can you
know,
see?
this, we
I've
did
seen
a,
this.
we did a
No,
slide
I can't hardly
display.
see, but, I mean,
We did a slide display at the council meeting. I think Miss Donna was here. She probably
I
saw it.
was.
I was,
Donna,
too.
Mr. Bagley and Sandy. This is one of the signs. Now that sign there, this is the 19, and that's the 16. This gives you the breakdowns of at 18-inch letters at 55 miles an hour. They'll see it for 10 seconds. This is full digital, you can make that flag wave back and forth, however you want to do it. Comes with all kinds of holiday deals, you can also put burn bands, you can, one of the things that me and Ms. Dawn had talked about at the end,
These moves.
one of the things we talked about with Ms. Dawn at the end is the businesses that the EDC supports could be, you know, they could put, Dawn's Realty up there, you can still put Family Dollar, you can still put Lake Palestine Resort, those people that contribute in there. And then we thought that maybe in the future, if we grow, there might be some businesses that might be willing to pay for advertising up there. But that's a sign there.
I
It's,
have a question.
yes, sir.
Well, first of all, I'm certainly 100% in favor of doing signage.
Yes, sir.
I have a real issue, a question about whether or not the 3-foot sign really and truly is big enough. when you're driving as fast as people are driving by there, shouldn't this be a little bit bigger?
On
Well,
the
those
top
are
of
gonna
it.
be
Yeah.
3 foot by 4 foot, and those are logos. People are gonna read the
They're
logo
permanent.
when
They stay there.
Mr. Beggerly can tell, I was.
Well, no, I
I
see
was
they
at
stay
the-
there, but I'm saying, shouldn't they be a little bit bigger?
When I was at the Battle Lab, what they did is, and if you noticed over the last few years, on your signs going down the road, they've changed them to pictures, because they do what they call a GUI, graphics user interface. When I was at the Battle Lab, we were modeling the Japanese, and that's where your stuff for Windows come from. Your mind can process a picture or a logo faster than it can read the words and translate it. That's why a lot of people on the screens, they just have a deal they click. So the 3x4s are just logos, and the big 5x10 will be the changing advertisement. And that's the sign.
Changing to what?
Whatever.
you want.
It could be Lake Palestine Resort, it could be Buddy Blake playing at Lake Palestine Resort this weekend, it can be, Pizza Pro, buy one, get one free.
It's programmable and changeable.
Well, I understand that.
You can do it from Belize.
But what we want to also make sure that we've got though is the tenants that are in there have the proper
ID.
identification. Again, I'm certainly not opposed to that. I'm just questioning whether somebody driving that fast, whether this is quite big enough. Would it be better to have this another foot down and then still use this as the
I agree, the bigger the better.
moving? That's all I'm asking.
That's a good question. Thank you for asking.
Well, what's really funny about this is we submitted these to 3 different sign companies. Leon's, Sign Master, or actually 4, a place out of Dallas come up and met us. And they're the ones that came up with the designs. And they're pretty fair on the designs. Pretty close. The only thing that we really found out different on the sizes is, this one here is 4 foot by 3 foot instead of 3 foot by 4 foot. And that's Sign Masters, and those are the people that brought the LED display out at the council meeting. So they're all in that same ballpark.
So it'll be covered this way.
Right, but it would be easier, well, I don't know, I'm asking a question, I'm not trying to make a statement.
I don't know.
To me, it seems like it would be easier to read when I'm trying to visualize driving 50 mile an hour down, right past it, and what's easier to read. And the first thing we want people to see is the tenants that are in there.
Yeah, you're right, because I stood out on that road years ago with the last sign proposal people, and we actually looked at the curvature on the road on 155 as it curves coming into the Stringer. And as you come across the bridge, you don't see anything until you exit that bridge. When you exit that bridge, you have that much viewing time between there and the business center. And the same thing with the other area of the road. You don't see anything of that business center till you hit that bend of the road here on 155. There's a slight curve. So if you actually count the seconds, Larry, you're right. If you actually count the seconds of viewing time that they have 6 seconds to actually see the sign and coming down there. So the size of the letters, the brightness of the sign, the height of the sign in proportion to the other signs on the road is critical to it being effective. You know, and since a long time ago when we made these signs proposal, the electronic signage has jumped up. It's twofold everywhere. I don't know if you actually look at the things going up and down the road, but I do, since, you know, once you're involved in something, you tend to notice where you didn't notice before. Well, I've actually looked and, oh geez, they're everywhere. You know, the vet's now got a sign. The tax office has a sign. I was down by Chandler the other day, City Hall, and I saw Chandler's electronic sign advertising the Chandler City Hall efforts. And I saw what they were promoting and how they were promoting it there. So what you're saying is absolutely true. It has to be equal, in my opinion. It has to be equal in height to the signs for the Dollar General and the Family Dollar Store. It has to be on a pole the exact same height as those, because that seems to be the standard height for viewing. And you also have to have the biggest sign that you can get for the money and the biggest letters. And the rest of it's programmable. And then as far as the other signs for the businesses go, that's something that can be discussed. It really, I think the sign's gonna grab their particular attention, but the people that go up and down Highway 155 are basically the same people that go up and down Highway 155 every day. I would say 80% of those people, probably more than that, are the same old folks. They go up and down that road every day. So they're basically gonna be getting a Coffee City education by going by that sign. They're gonna be educated on Coffee City events, and the businesses that are there. So with that little pontification over, you're right, Larry. Needs to be as big as we can
I
go.
just don't wanna get a sign up there and then all of us seeing it and saying, oh gee whiz, I wish it was a little bigger, you know,
You couldn't hit it right, you're right
How
on the
many
money.
businesses do we have in Coffee City?
Oh, I took the count on the hand here. Now that we've lost the game rooms there, basically we just have the Family Dollar, Dollar General, and then the liquor stores. And I'm probably missing one or two, forgive me.
And
buddy.
H&R Block?
Well, I was, since it was enclosed in what we were talking about, I wasn't including that one. But that's about
So we
it.
have about,
And
we have,
beer to antique.
Oh, yeah,
well, he
yeah.
doesn't open there. That's just a storage building.
But, yeah, that's about it.
So we have less than, what, 9?
Okay.
And how much are we thinking about spending on a sign?
It's already been approved for $60,000, but that covers
Up
both
to.
signs.
Up to.
That's correct.
So what are we looking at spending on a sign for that amount of businesses?
Well, I think that's the whole point of the EDC, is to draw more businesses in and to educate them of that's why we're here. Because I know with United Realty, if you look at United Realty and how they spend your money on, they'll spend all your money basically on printed advertising. Because if you go to any restaurant, you'll pick up a United Realty thing, and you spend a lot of time on the computer. But here, since we're basically promoting real estate in Coffee City, we need to kind of educate them on Coffee City. And that, and Highway 155 frontage, the two things that we have to advertise in Coffee City are 155 frontage and Lake Palestine, and those things need to be promoted. And the thing is to make some people take a notice, even though they're seeing it for 8 seconds going up and down the road, they actually need to look at us for 8 seconds. And without any sign at all, because I thought it was a very interesting comment on somebody on the Strip Center in the past. One of the council members said, "What, the city owns that?" Well, yeah, and somebody's gonna notice H&R Block, but they're only gonna notice it once a year when they have their taxes done. The rest of it don't. And it's like the same thing if you go down to Chandler, and I'll use Chandler as an
Well,
example.
Chandler's much bigger and has a lot
Chandler
more
is, but the
opportunity.
purpose is the same. The purpose
Okay.
is the same.
My question is, Coffee City from one bridge to the other bridge,
Yes,
okay? Where are you gonna put all these businesses that you're wanting to bring in without city services?
what we do, Donna, and I'm glad that you're in the real estate business and you can understand these things. The thing is you target people that don't need the infrastructure. Because if you look at the surrounding towns and you look at to see exactly what kind of businesses they have is, you put in people that do not need the infrastructure. The infrastructure, and since you're in the realty business and mostly your sell is, well, Donna, you tell us, please. Tell us what you sell.
Well, I sell everything. I just sold the $3.7 million home in Brown's Landing. I
But you
sell
cannot
farms
affect
and
the,
ranches.
in Brown's Landing, it's a fine thing. The thing is where that you sell land is you basically don't change the infrastructure on any place that you sell land at. You sell it for what they have, and we're here in this exact same situation is we sell what we have. And this is what we're here to do, is we sell what we have. And you talk about the businesses that we sell, well, actually, we're in a better position now than we've ever been. Now that the game rooms have been shut down, or are gonna continue to stay shut down, we have buildings that have been brought up to code. So your answer is we have buildings, we have those empty buildings to worry about. As far as the real estate goes, I know that you have a property on 3506 and 155. We have that property to sell. I noticed Tony Singh committed to the old Coffee Landing restaurant thing. We got that information through you.
Yes.
He
Well,
committed that-
actually, the motel has bought that property.
That's exactly what I just said.
Yeah.
He committed to that particular thing, and he committed to that property for a specific reason. You'll have to ask Tony what it is. And if you look at the other properties available, and that's one of the reasons we
It's
want.
actually gonna be an RV park.
Wonderful.
I believe that's what he's
Wonderful.
looking
I'm
at.
so happy to hear that. And thank you for that information. Didn't
That's,
know that.
that's what his plans
But to
were.
answer your question is, we work with what we have, and we have more now than we've ever had before. We have buildings that have been brought up to code. We target businesses that will fit in the particular buildings. That's what we're here to do.
So we have 3 businesses that have been brought up to code over here.
That's correct. If you actually look at the newspaper, the old Club Ignite was closed down because it did not meet specifications. It was brought up to code.
Which one now?
This would be Club Ignite.
Next to the gas station.
Oh.
Where the other flea market is there.
Where all that flea market garage sales stuff
The part
is.
that's in Briarwood Bay?
Yes,
Right.
yes.
That's correct.
Okay.
That's not in Coffee City, but the building was brought up to code. And if you look at the buildings across the street, the one that was the old Tees liquor store had been vandalized. They had ripped all the copper wiring out of it. It was basically a hull of a building. In order for them to put the things in that they did, they had to bring the building back up to code, which was fire marshal inspected. And then if you go next door to where they had the porno shop and the Foots Liquor, it was the same case. The building was a disaster. I talked to the man that owned the building, was in there, and it was a real shambles of the building. It was also brought up to code. And so that was a wonderful thing. And then if you looked at the Kilos thing, that brought a lot of activity into Kilos, and that building was also brought up to code. So without spending any money at all of those buildings before were not up to code. They were basically bad buildings. Those buildings are now up to fire code, and they're better than they were before. And we have motivated sellers, and you know that also from a real estate business there. Once a building becomes vacant and somebody's in a, whatever particular dire strait is, I'm hoping that we'll have some motivated sellers that want to get in there. So just speaking on what we do have, we have these empty buildings that have been brought up to code. They're better than they've ever been before, and there's some great opportunities. The great opportunities that we have are Highway 155 frontage and Lake Palestine, because I noticed there was a place called United Realty, and they
It's
located,
not United Realty. It's
the
United-
place that you work at is right there on,
It's not United Realty.
Well,
It's
you tell us what it
United-
is.
It's United Country.
but
It makes a big difference. Coldwell Banker is United Realty.
you chose to locate here. You chose to locate here. Did you have any infrastructure to locate here?
No, but we
Did you
weren't-
need any infrastructure to
Well, we
locate here?
didn't for that because
That's the exact point, and thank you for saying that. We'll get businesses that do not, just like the proper name of your company was there, you located here, and
you're
why
not
did you locate?
receiving taxation off of us though.
That's our job, is to bring in the people, and the thing is to fill the buildings up, you know, taxes and jobs. And I know that you're employed. That's a job. You are employed, aren't you?
I am, sure.
Okay, that is a
I
job.
sell real estate.
That is a
don't
job,
I?
and you are located here, and they located here for a specific reason. And why was it that they located here? Why was it that you located here?
Because it was a waterfront lot that had availability.
And because there was potential here, and you're the top 10 realtor, and you're located, and you were in the Texas Monthly, I don't want to debate this forever and ever, but you located here because they wanted to be here, and because it fits you. You fit. We need to get other people, and there's small businesses. In my past life, I dealt with a lot of manufacturers that didn't require a lot of power. They didn't require a lot of sewage. They were light manufacturing, and that was one of our goals that I hope that we would address at some time in the future, is light manufacturing. If you look at Jacksonville, for instance, they've got real big into the bow industry. The bow industry, they make bows. They don't require anything but a bathroom and a big metal building. And then if you look at a place like a Frank's, and you have Atwood Hat, well, Atwood Hats, they don't require nothing but a bathroom for their employees and a big metal building. They don't require a lot of anything.
Well, now, not on the square in town, out there at their location perhaps. But in town, that is a retail shop, but they have city services.
No, they were actually located, I know Mr. Atwood, and here, the original shop was behind the Franks and Citizen. That's where they actually did their pressing of their hats and forming of their hats. But anyway, the mayor is giving a motion up there. I could talk, and
Well, I
John,
was just trying to ask some questions.
no,
just
you
to-
ask as many as you want,
More
because I
informed.
thought that's the reason that we're here.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's
That
okay,
is the
move
reason
on.
that we're here.
Okay, Fire Chief, I have a question. There has been brought up that we need 2, not 1, but 2 signs. One
Yeah, but-
for front, how much for this and how much for something for?
Okay, these signs here, if you went with this sign here is Leon's. Leon's, reason I brought up the 19 and 16 millimeter,
Mhm.
And that's.
okay, the
that's-
16 is 60,868, and the 19 is 56,000. That's from Leon's sign.
Okay, and is it both sides sign?
Yes, double-sided sign. Same
So it'll
sign,
be like this?
yes,
Okay,
same
Both
sign,
on both sides.
with sign masters, which were the people that came out to the meeting that night,
Mhm.
the 16 is 49.8, and the 19 is 46.4.
So it's the same size as what Leon's bid on?
Yes, yes,
It's
ma'am.
Double
And
sided?
both of them have the 14-foot pole,
Yes.
and both of them have the 14-foot pole that has to have electricity run to them.
Right.
And who pays the bill?
That would be us.
That would be us from the,
Running the
Business
electricity.
we already pay the water at the home business center. So this would be probably
Will
part
this
of
be a
our,
separate meter?
we can probably put one in, yes.
Probably.
We would have to have a separate meter.
Yes.
There's
I was
no,
gonna say, it wouldn't be a choice there, you
No.
gotta do it.
That
No,
might be something y'all can build into the.
Yes.
and it's 110 voltage. It's not,
Yes.
it's not a 220 line.
okay.
That's good.
And then we have a data line.
Well, we already have.
Like I said, you could change the sign from, if Miss Douglas gets a winning deal and, 3506, today for $25,000, she could change it from Belize, on vacation in Belize, that sign, whatever we put in charge of that.
Okay, and the third bid,
They were in the 60s and 70s.
No.
I didn't even bring them back in.
okay, so the 47 came from whom?
Sign masters,
Sign Masters, was 46.4
4 and 49.8.
and 49.8. And that was for 19 versus 16. And then Leon's was 56 for the 19,
Just checking this.
and for the 16 was 60,868.
You can see it better. See,
I looked at those at the display last time. I looked at the display out there. The difference in that, what you call it, the 16 and 18, the DPI, the difference is not immediately apparent to me when I back off 100 yards.
The, and what it is,
Say, I don't see
I know,
that much.
I know y'all were
When
here.
I went across the parking lot back here, I could see no difference.
All they're talking about is the 16 and 9, that y'all at the meeting, Miss Cindy and Pastor Mark, is that's the spacing between the lights, 19 or 16. And they said we don't want a 10. That's just outrageous, Brian.
Oh.
So, and of course, the closer you pixel it, the better the picture you have.
If you're close to it, when you back off, like I say, the wider spacing, I didn't see any significant difference.
That's good to know.
and with the sheet, it was brought to my attention, if you look on the first page, down at the bottom where it says sign of the times, right there, billboard. We can pay for it out of the HUD account, plus the electricity for it out of the HUD account.
Well, and then, yeah, even especially if you were to put one of these same things down here at the community
That's
center.
right.
And we can get it cheaper if we didn't have that top, or on the top, it just says community center. But I figured EDC and Paul would have to split it up there. I guess I need to back way off in this business center.
So is that just,
That's all I got on business center, this is the community
Do
center.
you know, okay, but do you know something, Lee? Again, I don't know that much about this, but do you know anything, I just heard what he said, is there any significant difference between those two that you know about?
Yeah,
That we're not
I,
catching?
it's just me and my ideological way of thinking, I'd go with the 16. It's just, we don't know what we're gonna be putting on there. If we happen to put some pictures on there, he was just running some letters and stuff that night. But, you can ask well, everybody that come by there,
Yes.
they had pictures of cars, they were able to show movies.
Mhm.
It looked good at 16. Of course, 19 is gonna be a little fuzzier. But if we wanna put a sign on Don Douglas with United Country, all right? Hey.
You
I'm
got
kind
it.
of remembering like a.
So it's
steel
just a
trap.
difference of $3,400
Yeah.
in the two signs.
Roughly, yes. I don't have the exact figures, but I think so.
Well, 49.8 to 46.4.
Yes, ma'am, I believe you're correct. I'm running a little slow today, I apologize. I just think if we're gonna do some pictures of people, you know, you might wanna do Paxton and show Buddy Barnell have his picture up there. You know, like Housing Resort Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, I see all sorts of interesting things we can do. And I have no problem at all with the sign. My only question is, up here is whether that's quite big enough.
They're experts, all three companies we went to, those were pretty much 3x4s with three businesses. Now, of course, don't get me wrong, they would love to sell us another $30,000 and stack them and have them 4x12.
Well, that ain't what we were talking about
Yeah.
doing. I'm just
Yeah,
asking.
well, I know,
about
but they
the
did
signs
come
and
out with some 4x12s.
Yeah, I
Well, and
understand
one
that.
thing that was mentioned too is that the majority of the drivers are gonna be repetitious drivers.
And plus, H&R Block has a storefront.
Right,
Ryan Anthony has purchased his sign for his storefront.
right.
The sign's gonna grab them. You know. I think it's gonna help more businesses than are in the center.
So we basically decided to go with the one without the logos on the top, just a major thing.
Oh, no.
No,
no,
One with the logos.
One with the
Okay.
logos.
No,
Oh, yes.
that was never, that was not an
Yes,
issue.
yes.
The question, I don't have a question with the size of the logo at the top.
So which one do you wanna go with? 49.8?
I'm in favor, again, cheapy that I am, I'm in favor of the 19 dot presentation there at 47.
So be the 46.4?
Are you saying that just because of the price difference, or?
I'm saying it partly because of the price, and I'm saying it partly because of my perceived looking at the sign. When I'm up close, yes, I can see a difference. When I back off, I don't see an appreciable difference.
So the question then is, at driving 50 mile an hour past that sign, is there a difference?
My opinion is that there is not. And again, it's perceived opinion, and it's from looking at it statically out here in the parking lot. But again, I stepped down the hill and looked back up, looked at it, but
I don't know.
at the same time, I really don't want to wrap it up and keep it, you know, on hold.
This would be,
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, I don't have any idea.
this is what, this is a difference between 19 and 16. Big quite a bit.
I'm just concerned about driving 50 mile an hour and what I'm seeing here, that's.
Right.
I almost fell.
Yes,
I just want to point out, Don, what Don said earlier, the city council approved 60,000. So you need to also look at what is left for the community center signs dollar cost.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, I'll tell you what, Fire Chief, talk about the community center.
So you can do both with one motion.
I was kinda hoping y'all spend 50 out of the EDC for the center and 50 out of HOT for the community center.
We can't, they only gave us 60.
you can't do it quite that way.
Better to ask for forgiveness than permission.
You gotta,
Oh,
Then they come back and ask for more.
oh,
No,
no.
not on this board.
No.
Sure
because
is.
remember, you have to have the 2 steps.
This one here is $8,202. It's on a 8-foot pole, and this would basically have everybody's stuff on it. This was basically to move over to the, we move in front of the city hall, and we would show everything for city hall and the community center. That's a 2-sided lighted.
And it's how much?
8,222. 7-year vinyl.
Without the wiring.
Right.
Yeah,
We
we've
would
still got to run electricity.
And we would just run
Yeah.
that.
We're over budget.
Base.
Either way we go, we're over budget.
60,000?
We would just run that.
Oh,
over.
60,000, I'm
Yes,
sorry,
Yes,
okay.
we have a 60,000
We're
budget.
not quite over budget yet.
No.
Okay,
I thought it was 60,000 per sign.
No, it was
No.
60,000 for 2.
for two.
I don't hear so good.
I do.
This is a standard sign. All it is red letters on the the black backboard,
Mhm.
and it is because it's LED, it's $19,477.
How do we go from 82 to 19?
Because that's LED.
That's LED.
And that other one,
Well, 19 puts us well over, but,
Yes.
you know, what's that $8,200 sign right there?
oh, that's the $8,200.
This is an 8,200 sign, but this would kind of incorporate everybody, the city, the community center,
But it is
There
a,
you go.
it is a
that's lidded, but it's the standard, put the letters in, they blow off. We chase them down the road, run them over with a lawnmower.
No.
That's how we catch them. We run them over with a lawnmower and go that little bag.
So this other one you said is what, 19 what? I'm sorry.
It's 19,477.
this sign right here,
Yes, sir?
the head of, pardon me, the head up there, City of Coffee City, now that's pre-print,
Yes, sir.
okay? This right here is stick-ons, right here, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Those would all be permanent, and the community center and the web address would be permanent. Yeah, these two lines would be your only lines for
Okay, these
information.
two lines are stick-ons,
Right.
and those two lines are each, what, 10 inches tall?
Sure. I don't know. I think they're 18 inches. Everything I've done has been based on 6 inches, changeable text,
That right there, okay?
6 inches. I knew I had an answer. I'm not like Sandy.
Computer.
5 minutes ago, I was still looking for stuff, so.
That would be $5,877 over budget.
Next plain Jane sign, and as you can see,
I think we
this
could
is
probably
what
make
we
that
have
happen.
out there now.
Yeah, okay.
This would be here, community center, and it has 5 lines with 6-inch letters, and it is $7,188.
And that's
Do this
just
one,
the
do this
ones
one.
you're gonna chase after and mow over?
Now, what we had looked at,
Yeah, I already-
I think that he stated that he could get this down to like an even 40. If we didn't do the signs across the top and we just did a LED for out here. I showed a picture at the meeting, and you can see all the way down to 155.
I don't think that's necessary.
No,
The 14-foot sign is not necessary out here, in my opinion.
Oh, that's fine. But this one here gives you the most letters for, Donna Douglas United Country 20-year reunion, open house. You get 5 lines, you know.
And how is this one different than the one we have out there?
The one we have out there is
on the
blown
ground.
around, and, well, matter of fact, it's been salvaged, it's no longer.
It's a portable sign.
It gets trashed, the wind blows, we've anchored it, we've bolted it, we've rebuilt it, this will be permanently mounted to that pole. And there,
Okay, which sign
that
is
one's
this?
4'6",
This
Which
one
one,
here.
which one is the 19.4?
the red one.
Red letters with the black.
This one?
That one there.
Yes.
And this is LED and
Yes.
flexible and.
Yeah, but that's.
But that puts us over budget, doesn't it?
Yeah, but I think we can work with it.
I don't know if that's gonna give you the same
I will
information.
ask.
That one doesn't scroll, that doesn't wave at you, you can't do no pictures with it. That's all you get, is red on black,
I'll bring it to the city council.
pop-up letters. Yeah, but that's-
Red on black.
That's 2 months or whatever, or a month or whatever, I believe.
But that right there,
And this one here,
So that one right there where his thumb is that the 8,000?
yes ma'am,
Yes.
8,200.
Yes, and that's basically what we got already, and it's gonna fly away.
Oh,
I'd much
Well,
rather
no,
go
this
with
is on a
this.
pole too.
Yeah, I know, but the letters will fly away. I'd much
Okay.
rather be where it's not gonna fly away, because I've had to help pick that up.
Well, I'm not sure that would,
No,
if that's well secured,
yeah.
Now, they can,
You know, with
And
it.
that's a two-sided sign.
Yes,
That's a
sir.
two-sided sign.
yes, sir. All these
Is that
signs,
other
all
one?
these signs are two-sided.
There's,
The,
yeah.
the next issue then is, because I have no earthly idea, how much
Okay.
are we talking about for wiring and
Electricity.
electric meters?
Probably gonna be less than 1,000 on each one.
You think
Because
so?
all we gotta do
And
is
I don't know, I
get,
have no idea.
all we
There's
have to do is get it
electric
to them.
underneath.
Huh?
All we have to do is get it to the sign, and they do the hookups.
Yep.
This one here is non-lighted,
No,
which says non-lighted
Yeah.
that's
sign.
right.
That's the only one that's lighted.
Yeah, this one's lit.
But
And
that one right there
that one.
is lit, but what flexibility does it have?
What do you mean, what flexibility?
What can you show in that
We can put anything on here, right?
white space?
No
Yeah.
pictures, no
How-
scrolling.
How many lines?
So,
Then what can you put on there?
It's for the community center.
No, what
Just
can you
letters.
put on there?
just like that.
Verbiage.
Okay, just strictly
It
verbiage.
doesn't scroll.
Okay, but can you do
Wedding.
one line of text,
Yeah. you
two
can-
lines of text,
You
or
you
three
can do
lines?
whatever it is, it fills up that 4-foot section. Most of them are doing 18-inch.
So you can do,
Letters.
that's 3 lines.
Mhm.
That's 3 lines right there.
Okay,
Or
okay.
two,
Yes.
roughly two. Because you gotta allow for spacing in between the lines.
Okay, well,
Well,
18 and 18 is
36.
36, that's 3 feet. Okay, and that's a 4-foot area.
Yes, sir.
So there's your spacing, so it's basically a 2-liner.
Very
Two-
But it's on both sides.
A 2-liner, well, but it's gonna be the same on both sides. So you can say,
Does it have to be?
I don't know.
but it looks like with an 18-inch letter, you have about
The math never goes far.
5 letters, 5 characters that you can display per line. So what can you say in 5 characters per line?
You can't spell Douglas, you can't spell United Country. You can't- I'm talking against it, I know, but I would rather have, if we can't do the nice sign, you can pay a couple $100 more and they can put a cover over that.
What, a sun shield, windshield?
It's a cover, it just comes down over when it just comes right over, it lays over top of it.
And then the letters won't fly.
They're
So
not
this
supposed to.
one,
supposed to be a plug.
it's just small, it's just little small, big letters like that. We can't put like,
Yeah, you can get 5 characters, 6 characters per line.
Across, so the price of that is not big.
There's not a lot of flexibility.
because I thought it'd be smaller like this.
Yeah.
But if you got a cover for that, you cover.
Take your link over that one.
And your most lines are that one. I figured there'd be a problem with this one, because this one says city across the city.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
okay.
I didn't want the EDC to pay for city.
that's a good point.
What's down there at community center, so go with this one, the bigger.
If y'all ask me, if you can't do this sign,
You can't do what side.
this one.
That was going on the highway.
Yeah, that's not going
$50,000.
Yeah, that's 46. Yeah, that's already going out there. You can do
I would
this
say
one.
this one, because you
Okay.
could put more lines, you could put Sandy Atterbury, so you can spell
Okay.
out Atterbury on there.
Okay, how much is this one then?
Those are 6-inch lines, those are at
The price.
$7,188.
That's with your cover.
No, he said it'd be couple $100 more, because you have to buy cover for each
And
side.
what company is
Okay, let's
that?
just
So
say,
seven-
Sign
73.88.
Master. Oh, this is Leon's sign.
yeah. So
$7,400.
74, there you go.
But Sign Masters,
Well, which one was
Sign
the
master
cheaper?
probably do it cheaper.
this one here with the more,
I'm pretty sure.
more writing and stuff goes on it.
Okay,
That's what they're charging you for, is more the permanent seat.
I see. And so they're liking this one right here for 74?
Is the $7,400 sign, does it have, is that computerized?
No,
Oh.
it's right here.
And it's not lighted, right?
That's right. But you can light it.
That's what they were
Lighting
talking
is
about.
available.
this one's gonna be, there's not enough
Not
variety.
at this
Is that the one you put the
There's
hand,
none.
hand deals on it? The 7,400 one?
But they can get the cover.
And who's gonna cover it? And when?
And who's gonna change the sign?
I would say the city secretary.
The city secretary and the fire department, be glad to take that, I know they would.
We have tried in the past.
Y'all will have to talk to
2
me about
o'clock
the
in the
city
morning when the storm
secretary
hits.
doing that, because my city secretary is very busy right now, and I don't wanna commit him to, changing the sign.
I don't know. I
It's
think,
not our purview to delegate that either.
yeah.
Well, you were just kinda saying, we let the city secretary do it.
I know.
No, we won't.
Most times we give the people, I know in the past, when Janie was here, we would give people the letters and they would go out there and put their own message up. Truthfully.
My personal opinion, if y'all care to hear it, I would
Please.
rather you do the other sign or not do that sign at all. I'd just soon go to Sam's and buy another one like we just had for $700 and consider it disposable after a year or two and go back and do it again. Rather than do that, rather than
Before
spend
we-
$7,000
But
on a
before
sign.
we do that, go back to this sign here. We all know what the problem is with this sign. I mean, as far as it, there's just no flexibility here. Is there a way for a little bit more cost to make this more flexible? Nobody's gonna, I mean, none of you are gonna like this sign with no flexibility like you've got. What can we do, or if anything, what can the sign company do to make that more flexible?
I don't know if I can say that or what, but there is a difference. I think it was 25 that brought it back up to a smaller version of this other one y'all are looking at. A smaller version, it's more of a, where's it in the book?
I turned it over.
It was, I don't even think it was 19, I think it was a little bit bigger than that, but we wouldn't be having this, the pictures and everything, but you would have more letters.
Well, I don't think you need the pictures, if you've just got more flexibility with the letters, the writing that you can do. You've got no flexibility really here at all.
I think it would probably bring you up to about 25. I mean, that's 18, is that what it was?
No, it was 19,477.
Yeah, so I think it would have to come up to 25.
Well, if we're gonna take action on something now, we can take action on the one on the,
Yeah, let's do the highway.
the highway, and then debate and see how much funds are
Thank
left
you.
for the community center.
Thank you.
So if somebody wants to make a motion on the Lake Palestine Business Center sign, let's go do it. Sam, are you making a motion?
I'd like to make a motion for the sign master, and you'll have to tell me the exact number, it's one that's around 47.
46.
Was that Leon's 46-4?
No. Sign master.
All right.
Sign master for the Lake Palestine Business Center,
46,4,
46-4.
is that what it was?
Uh-huh.
I have it recorded here. All right, we have a motion, and we have a second for the 46-4 for the sign master for the Lake Palestine Business Center. All for it, aye.
Aye.
All against it, it carries unanimously. Thank you all.
And the motion for the other sign there,
We'll put it on the next, we'll see how much.
Yeah, I'd like to get a little more flexibility in that
Yeah.
sign.
I'll get some more stuff for you, or have them come up like we did last time to y'all EDC meeting.
and I'd like to hear more about that $700 proposal.
And since we've spent that much money, and the number 10 item says discussed and act upon sign proposals for the community center, Lake Palestine Center, do I have a motion to table the community center sign to see how much budget is left, so and see how we can act on that?
I'll make that motion.
All right, I have a motion, I have a second, all for A,
Aye.
Right?
all against it, carries unanimously.
Can I say one thing about the sign deal?
Go ahead.
I just want to make sure that, I was reading the minutes of the last meeting where Wesley was appointed. But I never received any information or knowledge that I was supposed to be helping him. So I just want that to be clear for the record that if I knew that,
Wesley volunteers, yeah, it's recorded.
okay, I didn't know it, I apologize for
We're not
that.
hanging.
You
Don't worry about it.
In absentia.
Yeah, I wanna
Whenever
pull my
Wesley
weight
went-
on everything I'm
Whenever
supposed
Wesley
to
wanted
do.
something, we were always included in the package. Don't tell me that's not true.
I didn't know that.
It's
But
a
listen,
fact.
my apologies, I've got to leave, I'm running late for a
We're
7 o'clock
We got
appointment yard out
We're about to
front.
wrap up anyway.
Hello,
And
hello. It's,
And we'll get notice of our next meeting, and is it gonna be a standard,
yes, we've come up with a schedule.
The next meeting,
I emailed it to.
yeah, okay, I think I've got it, I just wanted to make sure we were still on his meeting. Okay, thank y'all so much.
thank you.
As you go out the door, what do you think about a budget workshop?
A budget workshop,
Yes, we have one. We're
whatever
trying to
y'all
schedule.
decide, is good for me.
That's what I want to hear. All right, number 11, discuss and act upon budget workshop date. We need to come up with a budget so we can present it to the state. I don't think it's gonna be too big a deal, because we're gonna come out with some lump numbers like we did
Yes,
before.
like we have
And so
before.
it'll be a fairly quick program.
What's our deadline on
Sandy, what's our deadline on that, or have we already passed it?
It's the beginning of the year, and technically, we should have had it done in the first quarter,
Okay.
yeah,
Well,
so.
anyway, we're having our webinar on May 1st.
First.
And I'm having a city budget on May 10th. And those are the only things that I have conflicts with, is because, since I got the city budget on May 10th, and I have to
I don't know what
lead
time
a
that
webinar
webinar
May
is.
1st. Just basically just pick a date and we'll work on it. It's not gonna be a big thing.
Take about 2 minutes.
It'll be very fast and easy.
Can we do it on the 1st of May, like we're doing the webinar, just get it all done at the same time?
That's, you were so smart.
Do it right after.
I mean, we're here.
That's like a fine proposal, Sandy.
Thank
Sandy, would
you.
you like to make a motion on that?
I would like to make a motion that we do the budget workshop on the same day as the webinar hot tax is, which is May 1st.
Do you have a second on that?
that? I'll second
Everybody that supports the May 1st budget workshop day, aye? It's unanimous and carries.
Yes.
All right, number 12 is open forum. Everybody's left unless somebody else has something to say. Number 13 is adjourn meeting. Do I have a motion to adjourn? A motion and a second, all saying we should adjourn. Aye. Adjourned unanimously. Thank you all very much.
7:35, we're done. Thank you.